successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Thank you for attending this month's board meeting. Please take this opportunity to silence your cell phones. If you're seated at the table, please make sure that the microphone in front of you is clear of obstructions such as papers and screens and that the green light is on. Please do not turn off your microphone during this meeting. The audio engineer will be controlling the volume of each microphone. If you're not at the table and you are called upon to speak, please wait for a microphone to be brought to you so that you're heard clearly in the room and on the webcast. Thank you. The webcast will begin in 10 seconds. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. If you're presenting today and joining this meeting on Zoom, please know that your audio has been muted and that you will need to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak.
Queens Long Island border.
Oh, Queens.
Yeah.
Or is it in the Queens one, so it's more in,
Manhattan.
It would be
Closer
butting,
to
I might
butting.
have,
You sure? If you're going to Grand Central
Yeah.
Park. Yes. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm going to call to order. My name is Kevin Law, and I'm chairman of the board here. I'm going to call to order the meeting of the directors of the New York State Urban Development Corporation, doing business as Empire State Development, for this Thursday, September 18th, 2025. If you're joining us remotely, please have your phones on mute until you're ready to speak. As always, the public was given an opportunity to attend today's meeting to provide comments on the agenda items. I do not believe we have any members of the public here with us today, but we always give the public an opportunity to comment on our agenda items, and we did receive 3 comments related to agenda item 8A, and I'll comment on those comments when we get to that at the agenda, on the agenda. Of course, directors, all the information for today's agenda items were shared with them, and they have been posted online and at the ESD website. I will first, before we get into the business, like I always like to do, go around the horn and first with the directors so I can recognize a quorum, and then I'll ask the senior staff to introduce themselves too. So to my right.
Michael Rosen, Director.
Francine Del Monte, Director.
Benson Martin, designee DFS.
Hilda Rosario Escher, Director.
Hope Knight, President, CEO.
Great, so we have a quorum, so we could conduct our business. So Noah, you want to introduce yourself?
Will do. Kevin Eunice is unfortunately homesick. Noah Raymond, Chief of Staff.
Arden Sokolow, EVP for Real Estate.
Liz Luskin, EVP, Small Business and Technology Development.
Simone Bethion, Loans and Grants.
Sylvia Codone, Assistant Vice President, New York Ventures.
John Evan Hornsby, President, Empire State New Market Corporation.
Rich Gagliano, SVP Marketing.
Joshua Breitbart, Senior Vice President, Connect All.
Joe Tazwell, New York City Regional Director.
Matt Bray, Treasurer.
Tony DeLucio, Deputy CFO, Controller.
Ray Arletta, Chief Financial Officer.
Joshua Bloodworth, General Counsel.
Great. Well, thank you. And Debbie and the team, thanks for helping organize everything as always. And who did you mention was sick? Is Kevin sick?
Yes.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Thanks for wishing well. Hearing some feedback. Is that in our room or is that on the phone?
We're shutting off our mics.
Oh, very good. That helped. So that was it. Okay. All righty. I'll ask at this time if any directors have any potential conflicts of interest with respect to any items on the agenda. Benson?
DFS will recuse itself from voting on the St. John's Episcopal Health Service capital item, and I believe is that 2P, and the New York Ventures Emerging and Regional Partner Program Fund Investment.
Great, thank you. And when we get to those items, I'll reinforce that recusal. Anybody else? Hearing none, we'll get right to the agenda. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for both the June 26th, 2025 and the July 17th, 2025 directors' meetings. I will move them. Michael seconds them. Does anybody have any revisions, additions, or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The minutes are approved. Let's see, now we'll call on our esteemed President and CEO, Hope Knight, for her President's report.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning, directors. I hope everyone had a great summer. Hopefully you all had the opportunity to take some time for yourself to relax, get away, and recharge for the final months of 2025. The staff at ESD has been as busy as ever. Our Global New York team recently completed its export promotion tour, which visited every region of the state. The tour provided information sessions and consultations for New York businesses interested in expanding into international markets. This is the first time that all 15 contracted Global New York offices participated, and nearly 500 people attended the 10 stops. Thanks to the entire Global New York division, including Lennox Ruiz, Molly Bauer, and our ESD regional offices for all of their support in making this tour a great success. Last month, ESD hosted the first public workshop for the Downtown Albany Strategy. This is a part of Governor Hochul's $400 million Championing Albany's Potential initiative that was included in the most recent state budget. It was a tremendous turnout. I was there along with Governor Hochul and nearly 700 Capital Region residents to share ideas, engage, and discuss plans for Albany's future. This was the first phase of a three-phase planning process. Phase 2 will begin this fall, and another workshop will be scheduled. There was a lot of ESD support to make this happen, and I'd especially like to thank Kevin Eunice, Allison Kabir, Ashley McCloskey, and Mike Gelvely for all of their hard work. Last week, Governor Hochul celebrated the grand opening of Microbird's new $30 million manufacturing facility in Plattsburgh. Microbird is based in Canada and is the largest manufacturer of small school buses in North America. Due to the governor's direct involvement, the company moved into a facility that was being vacated by another transportation company. This meant that more than 300 former Nova Bus employees had the opportunity to transition to similar employment. This was a great example of how ESD was able to develop a creative solution to support local industry-focused economic growth. Thanks to Mike Morris and Steve Hunt for helping this bird finally take flight. Finally, next week is the Ryder Cup, at Bethpage State Park on Long Island. This is a biennial competition between teams of professional golfers representing US and Europe. More than 250,000 people are expected to attend throughout the week, and it should be an exciting event. Major events like this are great for local businesses and the host communities and for promoting all that New York State has to offer. And to borrow a quote from Ben Hogan, the most important shot in golf is your next one. And so in that vein, Kevin Law and I had the opportunity to be with Governor Hochul yesterday for her announcement that 3 more major golf events are coming to New York State. The 2028 KPMG Women's PGA Championship, the 2033 PGA Championship will return to Bethpage State Park, and the 2035 PGA Championship will be played at Oak Hill Country Club outside of Rochester for the 5th time. So lots to look forward to, and we look forward to having an exciting championship next week on Long Island. And with that, I conclude my president's report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Hope. Yes, I was with Hope yesterday, and the top PGA official was very complimentary of Hope and her team, Rich, and everybody who's been involved, because it takes years to put these, events together. And, ESD was very helpful, and both the governor and the chair of the PGA acknowledged Hope and her efforts there. As far as I know, it's on. Am I talking too low? Yes. Is that better? Now I feel like I'm yelling. I yell at home, but I'll try to talk louder. So, and then it's great news that 2 more events are coming. And then after Bethpage, I had the privilege of then being with the governor at Stony Brook University, where she and the SUNY chancellor announced a $300 million quantum technology hub for Stony Brook and the downstate region, and it's going to be very exciting. Don't ask me to explain it, but it's sort of like if we're at like 5G now, or 4, some of us are 4, some of us are 5. This is like 8 or 9G. It's going to be like really taking communications really fast forward into the future. If you look at the cell phones that first came out, they were like this big. We all used to remember the dial-up phones, or at least some of you are younger, dial-up phones, and look how far we've come. And this is going to eventually take us to really newer and needed technology. And I think about the governor and ESD partnering with our friends at SUNY and also at NYPA at times, and creating this huge AI facility up in Buffalo, the nanotech center at Albany, the semiconductors in central New York, and now quantum hub, downstate, on Long Island. Pretty cool. Yeah. And it shows the role that ESD plays with the governor's support and with partnering with SUNY. We could really help create these neat ecosystems that will generate a whole lot of good opportunities for our taxpayers here. So very fun. Thanks, Hope, for your report. Does anybody else have any questions for Hope? Okay, so we will move on and continue with the corporate item, and we have Matthew Bray, our treasurer, here for a report.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, directors. Public Authorities Law requires annual approval of ESD's investment report, which details, among other things, investment guidelines, reports of the annual audit, and the investment performance for the fiscal year. For the 2024-25 fiscal year, the average invested amount in the portfolio was $6.6 billion, with an average maturity of 70 days and an average weighted yield of 4.9%. The portfolio reflects the primary investment objectives of preservation of capital, liquidity for payment obligations, and return on investment. Investment earnings increased from $301 million in fiscal year 2023-24 to $320 million in fiscal year 2024-25. This is primarily due to an increase in the average invested balance. Of the interest earnings, approximately $250 million is in funds restricted for debt service, debt defeasance, and subject to DOB authorization. An additional $40 million approximately is in restricted project and program funds, and the remaining approximately $30 million was used to support ESD operations in the fiscal year. The full report contains detailed information. Please note we are not proposing any changes to the investment guidelines at this time. Your approval of the investment report, including the investment guidelines, is requested. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Matthew. And then once we approve this report, what do you do with it? Do you send it to the state budget director, the state controller, the public authorities control board, all of the above? Or is it just something we're required to do?
We're required to do this. It's now part of the public record, but we do not send it out.
Got it. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Matthew? All right. I will move this. Francine seconds it. We have no comments from the public. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Matt. Next up is Jeff Januszewski. He's our Senior VP for Strategic Business Development. I assume Jeff is on the phone? Jeff, you on mute?
We'll check with
All
him
right,
and-
we will come back to Jeff. So next up is Laura Fox O'Sullivan, our Regional Director of ESD's Finger Lakes region, to present the spotlight presentation. And is Laura here with us?
No.
No, she's on the phone.
Oh, she's live. There she is. All right.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Laura. The floor is yours for the spotlight presentation.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for the time. My hope is that I teach you a little bit about our region and also get you excited about the next time you're able to come to visit. So first, a little bit about our geography. We are surrounded by water. North of us is Lake Ontario. The Erie Canal runs through our region, and we have not all, but most of the Finger Lakes in our region. Access to fresh water is a major asset to agriculture, to tourism, to manufacturing, and water has also always acted as a connector in our region. It helped to spread several movements rooted in our region. We are the home to Frederick Douglass and several other key abolitionists, including his North Star paper. We were a critical stop along the Underground Railroad. We're also home to the suffragist movement. Susan B. Anthony's home is just west of downtown Rochester, and we hosted the Seneca Falls Convention. Even spiritualism originated in Wayne County, where two sisters gained a following claiming to speak to ghosts. Our region undoubtedly has a legacy of innovators and disruptors. Here you see some information about our population, just over 1 million strong. Our key industries are optics, photonics, and imaging, agriculture and food production, next-gen manufacturing, healthcare and life sciences, software and IT. Our top employers are the University of Rochester, including its medical campus, Rochester Regional Health, which is our other hospital system, Wegmans, which needs no introduction, Paychex, which today is likely best known for Tom Golisano, the founder's truly prolific philanthropic giving, and the Rochester Institute of Technology. We are undoubtedly a meds and eds community with 18 colleges and universities. The accolades that you see here should be no surprise based on our abundance of higher learning in the region. We're home to both companies and educational institutions that make us a standout in the OPAL industry focus. So that's optics, photonics, imaging, and lasers. This was born out of our region's legacy of the big three, Kodak, Xerox, and Bausch & Lomb. With the decline of these companies in the second half of the last century, our landscape has changed dramatically. Thanks to these companies, however, we have a wealth of patents, companies, and PhDs educated in these fields. We also have several unique assets that contribute to this thriving ecosystem. A few highlights include the Luminate competition, which is housed at NextCore, our high-tech incubator in downtown Rochester. This is a competition to bring optics, photonics, and imaging companies from around the world to compete for dollars. They'll ultimately land them and their headquarters in the Finger Lakes region. We have found that even non-winners of this competition choose to stay in the region because of the strong ecosystem around optics, photonics, and imaging. We're also home to the AIM Photonics TAP facility, the internationally renowned laser lab at the U of R, the MCC Optics program, which is the nation's only community college awarding an associate degrees in precision optics. And we have Eastman Business Park, the 1,200-acre industrial park in the city of Rochester. When Kodak was at its peak with 140,000 worldwide employees, this was really the hub for manufacturing. Today, with only 4,000 worldwide employees, Eastman Business Park is home to 120 companies not affiliated with Kodak, and redevelopment is still underway. We're currently working with several prospective companies that are looking at New York State because of Eastman Business Park. It has a truly unique array of infrastructure and utilities on the site. I want to share some recent projects that illustrate the collaborative approach we take to regional investments, where we strive to leverage our existing assets and the interconnection between our key industries and priorities. As many of you know, New York State won Fairlife, the milk beverage manufacturer, in 2023 for its Northeast manufacturing hub. This was for several reasons: our access to raw milk, our access to fresh water, our skilled workforce. In order to land this win, we needed to provide a Fast New York Award, which they received $20 million to help with the electrification of this new greenfield site. That led to the investment of $650 million by the company and the creation of 250 new jobs, which will be coming online very shortly. These investments were a catalyst for us working with local municipal leadership on a Fast New York Award for the nearby Xerox campus, which is a nearly vacant site that has been for decades underutilized by Xerox as it has contracted its international presence. This is a key industrial site for our region that has been underutilized, and now its potential is unlocked because of this award. This flow of investment illustrates the intersection of advanced manufacturing, food production, and site development. This would not have happened without ESD's foresight on policy and incentives. As we all know, it's really hard to be patient in economic development. And I know that you've heard several times about different projects in our region, and I think it's helpful to get a kind of a long-term view about their success and their impact. So I'm very quickly going to run through 3 projects in downtown Rochester that have been in the making for over a decade, and now that we're finally seeing some real traction. So first, I've presented about this project before, the Strong National Museum of Play, our region's #1 tourism attraction. No matter your age, it's something worth seeing. So when they took on their very bold expansion plan, that completed in 2023, not only were they looking to do an expansion of the museum and in an effort to revitalize the nearby neighborhood in downtown Rochester, but it was an opportunity to create a new neighborhood, the neighborhood of play. This started with the fill-in of our inner loop, which is a sunken highway that divided downtown from the rest of the city. So this portion of the inner loop was filled in. And on top of it was the expansion of the museum, the parking structure you see in the background, a new street grid, all types of housing, a hotel, and restaurants. New York State participated in the Strong Museum expansion and earlier in the inner loop fill-in, but everything else was market-driven. And it's truly a vital, vital part of our city now. Next. You've heard me present several times about either Sibley Square or projects that are located in Sibley Square. So Sibley Square is a former 1.1 million square foot department store that about a decade ago, when the current owners purchased it, was nearly vacant and very dilapidated. They began a $250 million investment in the building. And today it is home to all different types of housing, from workforce housing to fixed income over 65 to luxury housing. And all of the commercial tenants are rallied around the theme of education, innovation, and incubation. So here you see 4 projects. They're certainly not comprehensive of everything ESD's done, but 4 projects that have been sponsored by ESD that are tenants. NextCore, as I mentioned, is our high-tech incubator. The Commissary is a food business incubator with more than 75 entrepreneurs as members. Sun Density is one of many Luminate winners that have chosen to locate in the Sibley Square building because of its proximity to NextCore and what NextCore is doing around the optics, photonics, and imaging ecosystem. And then Ultrafill is an incredibly unique company that does prototypes for aseptic beverage manufacturers. And they're doing this in truly the bowels of this former department store. And then the third project I wanted to mention is Rock the Riverway. So as you may remember, the Finger Lakes region's win for the Upstate Revitalization Initiative included this Rock the Riverway initiative. To date, over $100 million has been committed in phase 1 to projects that are allowing us to embrace the river again, instead of turning our backs like we all did for so long in these industrial cities. So on the left is an early, very successful project of Rock the Riverway. This is the Rock City Skate Park. It took a truly underutilized site under a highway on-ramp and a bridge and turned it into a skate park. It's been so successful that future phases are already being planned. And on the right is one of our 2 most ambitious phase 2 projects, the other being the Aqueduct Reimagined. This is High Falls State Park, which will take several vacant and formerly contaminated sites owned by the city of Rochester and various industrial users and turn it into an urban state park. As is true for many regions, we have the vast majority of our investment in our population centers. But we are a 9-county region, and building relationships and grantee opportunities throughout our region is really important for our regional office. So we do this by hosting our regional council meetings throughout the region. We rotate counties. So on the left, you see us earlier this summer at Hobart and William Smith College in Ontario County. On the top right, just last week, we were in the beautiful village of Perry in Wyoming County. That's us taking a tour of the DRI projects. At these meetings, we have over 100 guests come to our council meetings. And so it's a great opportunity for our local economic development partners to spotlight their efforts, their projects, and allow everyone to learn more about their county. We also host office hours every summer in all 9 counties to forge relationships with potential grantees. Throughout our region, we have very strong existing assets and the potential for growth. Our tourism leverages our natural resources, as does our agriculture. The Finger Lakes region has the largest amount of farmland in New York State and also the largest agricultural sales. And we comprise 80% of the state's winemaking. Wineries and winemaking are a major agricultural output as well as a tourism draw. Throughout our region, we also anticipate significant residential growth and demand from Micron and the semiconductor supply chain in the region. Our office here in the Finger Lakes is home to several key staff associated with Go Semi, which has been a really wonderful opportunity for us to collaborate and learn more. We are also at the center of the New York Smart Eye Corridor Tech Hub. And we're home to STAMP, the mega site in Genesee County, which will soon be home to the semiconductor supply chain company Edwards, which is wrapping up its $319 million build out and welcoming more than 500 employees to that site. We were also selected to be an on-ramp workforce development center, which will train our region's workforce for the wave of job opportunities coming in advanced manufacturing. It's co-located at the MCC downtown campus. in the Kodak Tower, along with the Ford Center, which was a major investment by ESD. And this building is truly becoming a workforce development hub. We've been privileged to be part of the Regional Revitalization Partnership, a $300 million co-investment between public and private partners, mostly philanthropy, that are focused on Rochester, Buffalo, and Niagara Falls. Buffalo and Niagara Falls began this process earlier, so you've certainly heard about RRP-sponsored projects from those cities at the board meetings prior. For Rochester's Phase 1, we invested more than $26 million into nearly a dozen projects, including Harper's Corner that you see here. This is the corner of Main and Clinton in downtown Rochester, truly the most blighted and embarrassing corner in the city of Rochester. And in just a few weeks, it will be opening as a mixed-use building for affordable housing and several commercial opportunities. We were also able to invest in the physical expansion of NextCore, the high-tech incubator in Sibley that I mentioned, and the creation of a commercial corridor program for the West Main neighborhood called West Main Gateway. We'll be closing out the portfolio this fall with the announcement of Phase 2. These recent efforts to collaborate more effectively and align our priorities amongst funders, grantees, and geographies has been very rewarding, and we're starting to really see the positive results. It's also fostered collaboration and peer-to-peer learning with Western New York. Building off of the existing collaborative efforts between the two regions, in large part thanks to RRP, the Finger Lakes region is partnering with Western New York for the Achieve competition. We're the only ones doing this in the state. Similar to RRP, we're investing in placemaking, workforce development, and entrepreneurship and innovation in this strategy. And we're partnering with philanthropy, which will deliver critical working capital to make these investments even more catalytic. We're doubling down on collaboration, alignment, and leveraging existing resources and efforts. So I'll end by thanking my colleagues in the Finger Lakes Regional Office. Thanks to Vinny Esposito's leadership, we have, as you can see, a truly diverse group of people in our office. It is a pleasure to work for ESD and to work with all of these wonderful professionals. It's really fostered a sense of community and collaboration here in our office. So with that, I want to say thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Great. Well, thank you, Laura. Great job. I have a couple of questions, and then I'll start with my last one at the bottom. Yeah, Achieve. There isn't an acronym that you guys can't come up with. It's very, very clever. Very clever. So first, an easy one. We have a debate down here. Where does upstate begin? If you live downstate, and I'm just wondering, where do the Finger Lakes end and the southern tier begin? And is Watkins Glen, where I've been to, is that in the Finger Lakes, or would you say that's the southern tier?
So this is quite the debate, as I say, right? We have most of the Finger Lakes, but not all of them. And then we have several counties that have no Finger Lakes in the middle. So Watkins Glen, that's a really tricky one because Watkins Glen is on Keuka Lake. Keuka Lake, though, is on several counties. So Yates County, where Penn Yan is in our region. Watkins Glen, which is on the southern point of Keuka Lake, is in the southern tier.
Very good. Great answer.
That's one of the most confusing ones.
Okay, very good. All right, so now a tougher one. If I read the slide right, for Fair Life, the Fair Life project,
yes,
it was $650 million grant for 250 jobs. It sounds like
no, that's their investment.
Their investment.
Oh, that's an easy one. That's their investment.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They received
that's like a $2 million per job grant.
No,
I didn't think we were that generous.
No, Allie Stark and Jeff can answer to that, but no, it was a $21 million Excelsior.
Got it.
Is what they received. Yeah, and this facility is incredible. I mean, you would think that there's either a semiconductor fab that's going up or a very large hotel. It is massive, this facility, and for anyone who drinks, the products, the Fairlife Core Power individual protein shakes, they're in an allocation process. They're so popular that they need this facility to come online in order to meet the market demand.
Nice, nice. And then just one other observation I think is pretty cool is that my old law firm, which was founded in Rochester, and over 150 years old, grew up with Bausch and Lomb, Xerox, and Kodak, you know, the Image City. And you guys sort of have a similar history with Long Island and its defense, industry. You had all these really well-trained and well-educated folks in certain industries that soon began to sort of fade away. But because of their experiences, they were able to transition to new types of ventures. So both, that's exciting for your region. As I said, I've spent a lot of time up in the Rochester area. And last summer,
It is. We've been fortunate that Rochester was always kind of like the white collar hub of industry, and so while the decline of industry hurt Rochester, it didn't in the same ways as it did places like Detroit and Cleveland. And so we've been able to instead kind of spin out, as I mentioned, a lot of companies, because people are so well educated with these PhDs and these core competencies. So it's created a lot of other opportunities.
Got it, great. Well, thank you, good job. Hilda, I'm sure you have something to say about your hometown area.
That you have to come. You have to come and see what we have to offer, especially the Museum of Play.
Oh, yeah.
Especially where?
It's, yes.
The Museum of Play. Oh, the museum,
It's
yes.
Strong Museum of Play.
Good.
It's the best in the country.
Nice. And
Yes.
my wife and I were in the Finger Lakes last summer.
Oh,
It is, it's beautiful. Just driving
Yes.
anywhere up there,
Yes,
it's just
it
amazing.
is beautiful.
And
So I invite you all to take a ride and join us in Rochester.
We would love to host. Would love to host
Yes.
before 2035, hopefully, with the PGA.
what state park did we go? Ledgeworth? Was it?
Ledgeworth.
with
This is, yeah,
the amazing
that's what this
waterfalls?
image is.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It was,
yes.
it was gorgeous. I
Yes.
felt like, it was like the Grand Canyon of,
Yes.
upstate, or the East Coast, as I said, so very good. All right, any other questions for Laura? All right.
It looks like there might be hands raised. I don't know if that's for me or not on the Zoom.
Nope.
Maybe not. All
Nothing
right.
here. So we're gonna see you in a few minutes when we get back to your region for the regional programs, right?
Yes. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, well, great job. And Deb, how many, have we hit all 10 regions yet in terms of spotlights? Who haven't we done yet?
I think we maybe have like 1 or 2 left.
All right, let's do that. And then eventually we're gonna have to start round 2. We're gonna have to get updates from the presentations on what those regions have done since the last time they presented.
And I think Jeff is already, if you want to go
So we'll go backwards. Okay.
I enjoy those spotlight presentations.
Yeah, right? We learn something every time. And in fact, thanks for mentioning that, Francine, because I've asked Arden in the future, over the next couple of months, to give us a presentation on all the big projects, like the Creedmoor and others that we're working on. Just give us a summary of all the big projects, because, we do so many things here.
You don't know what's,
It's good for us to get involved and be aware. So yeah, these have been a good hit, and so we'll continue to do them. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Great. So we're going to go back on the agenda. Jeff Januszewski is here. He's our Senior VP for Strategic Business Development, and he has a Power Up New York item for us.
To quote Verizon, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Yeah, we had some trouble unmuting there for a while. Thank you, Chairman. The directors are requested to authorize program guidelines, and in doing so, create the Promote Opportunity with Electric Readiness for Underdeveloped Properties, or Power Up Grant Program. It aims to develop a network of power-ready sites across the state, locations where upgraded electrical capacity shortens the time between business site selection and operational launch. By modernizing and expanding electric infrastructure, Power Up will enhance New York's competitiveness in attracting high-quality jobs. In fact, the The Fairlife project that was just referenced was attractive because we invested Fast New York funds principally in power upgrades. Eligible sites must be targeted to attract priority sectors, generally be a minimum of 40 contiguous developable acres in size, to have some high level of readiness with respect to preliminary engineering. Up to a total of $100 million will be used towards capital grants to enhance the power readiness of mature industrial sites. ESD plans to allocate awards on a rolling basis. The funding is exhausted. ESD will administer Power Up in consultation with the New York State Department of Public Service. ESD will lead the program administration and site evaluation. DPS will provide advisory input, leveraging its knowledge of utility capital planning. The directors are requested to make findings and determinations pursuant to Section 10G of the Act, authorization to adopt guidelines, and authorization to take related actions. I will now take any questions.
So Jeff, who would likely be the applicants for these grants? Is it municipal? Is it utilities? Is it private developers?
We expect for the most part, it won't be private developers. It will either be municipalities or municipally appointed economic development organizations. We have not ruled out the possibility of a direct grant to an investor-owned utility, but having created a model under Fast New York, the sister program, the utilities seem more comfortable with working with the municipality or economic development organization that is attempting to develop the site.
Got it. And will we be coordinating at all with NYPA, the New York Public Authority, Power Authority?
Yes, we've been talking to them about that. In fact, we're not only discussing the role that they could play, but we've also had some conversations with NYSERDA about how they can help.
Got it. Any of the other directors have any questions? All right. We don't have any comments from the public either. So I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
All right. So now let's continue with the regional projects. We'll start in Western New York. We have 2 items, 2 separate votes, and Karen Utz, our regional director, will present.
Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning. The directors are requested to approve a loan of up to $500,000 from the Economic Development Fund, known as EDF, to the Richardson Center Corporation, a not-for-profit corporation established to restore and reuse the buildings and grounds of the former Buffalo State Asylum for the Insane, a National Historic Landmark now known as the Richardson Olmsted Campus, which includes a boutique hotel called the Richardson Hotel. The loan is to be used for approximately 1/3 of the projected payroll costs over an 18-month period to support the continued operations of the hotel, which recently lost its long-term tenant operator. In order to avoid the cancellation of numerous events and prevent the loss of a significant regional tourism and community asset, the corporation solicited a new hotel management company on a very short timeline. The Richardson Center Corporation has now met the requirements for disbursement of this loan, and we are requesting approval from the board to close this financing. There are no jobs directly associated with this loan, although approximately 30 positions will be retained, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Karen. Any of the directors have any questions? No, we don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Karen.
The directors are requested to amend a general project plan to provide an additional $5 million from the Regional and Community Assistance Program, known as RECAP, to the not-for-profit Buffalo Olmsted Parks Conservancy for upgrades to Martin Luther King Park, the only Frederick Law Olmsted-designed City of Buffalo park on the historic East Side. This amendment will lead to a total of $9 million in ESD funding for capital improvements to the park as part of the governor's East Side revitalization efforts, and will be specifically used to restore and activate the park's historic Lord and Burnham greenhouse complex, where plantings are grown and overwintered for the Buffalo Olmsted system. The project does not include job creation goals. However, the restoration will support the establishment of a horticultural workforce training program at the complex with $1 million in philanthropic funding. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions? None. No comments from the public. I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Karen. Okay, back to the Finger Lakes and Laura Fox O'Sullivan.
Hello, everyone. We're asking the directors to approve a $1 million capital grant to Cars Reborn LLC from round 2 of the DRI awarded to the City of Batavia in Genesee County. The grant supports a portion of the cost of construction and renovation of a former department store into a mixed-use building. The total project cost is nearly $5 million, and including 43% grantee equity and a $1.58 million Restore Round 7 grant. Are there any questions?
How many units?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's maybe 12 units.
Yeah, I don't remember looking at the materials. All right, very good. Do any of the directors have any questions? See none. We have no comments from the public, so I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Over to Central New York. 2 items, 2 separate votes. We have Zachary Becker, our Economic Development Program Specialist. Zach?
Good morning, Chairman and Directors. We are asking the directors to approve a Round 13 Regional Council Capital Fund grant of $400,000 to be used for a portion of the cost of construction, renovations, and machinery and equipment at Feldmeier's facility at 6175 Robert Feldmeier Parkway in Syracuse. Feldmeier is a manufacturer of stainless steel tanks for the dairy, agriculture, and pharmaceutical industries. The project is expected to be approximately $21,715,033, with 17% contributed by company equity. ESD's participation is 2% of the total project cost. The company is also a receiver of Excelsior Jobs Program award up to $500,000 as it relates to the job creation. The company will be creating 25 new jobs at the facility. I'm more than happy to help with any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Zachary? Hearing none, and we have no comments from the public. I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Zachary.
Thank you. Next, we are asking the directors to approve a Regional Council Capital Fund grant for Round 8 of $575,000 to be used for a portion of the cost of renovations of an existing building into a consolidated workforce services center at 248 Green Avenue in Auburn and Cayuga County. The renovation offers a new centralized home for regional workforce development organizations, Cayuga Community College Collaborative Workforce Development Center. The total project is expected to be approximately $5,846,550, with 31% contributed by company equity, and ESD's participation at 10% of the total project cost. The remaining of the project cost will be contributed by SUNY Match and other grants. The project will not directly create any jobs. More than happy to help with any questions on this one.
Anybody have it? No, no questions. No comments from the public. So I'll move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. All right. Thank you. We'll go up to the North region. Stephen Hunt. He has 3 items for us. 3 different votes.
Yes, good morning. First, we're seeking board approval of a $558,000 DRI grant to 5G Real Estate Group, LLC, to be used for a portion of the $3.3 million construction project to renovate the former Globe Mini Mall building in downtown Watertown. The renovation project will include rehabilitation of the vacant 28,000 square foot 2-story building into 11 market rate apartments and 14,000 square feet of commercial space, which is now occupied by the Jefferson Lewis BOCES for workforce training and educational purposes. The project is consistent with the regional council plan and the city's DRI plan, and we're expecting a ribbon cutting next week, and ESD is now requesting board authorization for this project.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions? No? No comments from the public? So I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Steve.
Okay, next we're seeking board approval of a $372,311 Regional Council Capital Fund grant to the Jefferson County Industrial Development Agency to be used for a portion of the $2.3 million cost of constructing and installing infrastructure for a new 100-acre business complex adjacent to the Watertown International Airport. The project included installation of electric, water, wastewater, and roadway infrastructure for development of the new business park. The project is complete, and we're now seeking board authorization for the project.
Thanks, Steve. No questions, no comments from the public. So I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Last item, Steve.
Okay, finally, we're seeking board approval of a $1,265,000 DRI grant to Ticonderoga Revitalization Alliance to be used for a portion of the $1.4 million cost of construction and renovation of 108 Montcalm Street in downtown Ticonderoga. The rehab project included replacement of the roof, asbestos and mold abatement, facade enhancements, and electrical improvements, resulting in the stabilization of a historic building to provide Ticonderoga with future mixed-use development. The project is completed, and so we're seeking board authorization.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions on this one? Nope. So no comments from the public. I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Let's move over to the Mohawk Valley region. Again, we have three different items, three different votes. We have Derek Crossman, Deputy Director for ESD Mohawk Valley region.
Good morning. We're asking the directors to approve a $150,000 ESD capital grant from Round 9 and a $500,000 grant from Round 4 of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative for Thea Bowman House's DeSales Center Adaptive Reuse Capital Project in downtown Utica. These grants support a portion of the cost of construction of an exterior elevator shaft, installation of a new security system in the building, installation of new security doors on each floor, and new lighting within the existing four-story structure. These additions allow for the top three floors to become fully accessible, thus maximizing capacity and increasing access to childcare and supportive services for low-income and at-risk families within the community. The total project cost is $1,204,864. Thea Bowman House contributed $263,483, or roughly 21.8% of the total project cost. This project is completed, and we're looking for board authorization. I'm happy to take any questions.
Derek, if I heard you right, there's two different grants from both Round 9 and Round 4, both from the DRI programs?
The Round 9 is from the CFA, and that's the ESD Capital Grant.
Oh, so through the REDC process. And then it's Round 9 of the REDC and Round 4 of the DRI?
Correct.
Got it. Thanks. Anybody else have any questions? None. We have no comments from the public. Whose turn? I'll move it. Francine, there it is. Seconded, and all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Next.
Okay. Next, we're asking the directors to approve two Fast New York Track C awards, a $23,632,045 grant from Round 1, and a $32,364,90 $90 grant from round two, totaling $55,996,135 for the County of Oneida's Fast New York Griffiths Airfield Capital Project. These awards support site development efforts for the Griffiths Business and Technology Park at Stephen J. DeMio campus. The site, owned by Oneida County, contains two premier parcels that together unlock 492 acres of developable land. This Track C funding will provide extension and expansion of water, sewer, and power to support development. Fast New York funding from round one led directly to Chobani's $1.2 billion investment, the nation's largest investment in natural food manufacturing, announced in April of this year. And FAST funding from round two will unlock an additional 160 acres of land for future attraction of other strategic industries. The total project cost is $62,102,605, and the County of Oneida will contribute $6,279,760, or 10% of the total project costs. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Good. Thank you, Derek. Any questions? Hearing none. We have no comments from the public, so I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Last item.
Okay, we're asking the directors to approve a $500,000 ESD capital grant from round 7 and a $1,750,000 grant from round 1 of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative for the City of Oneonta's Market Street Improvements Capital Project in downtown Oneonta. These grants support a portion of the costs for renovations focused on approximately 1,700 square feet of Market Street, specifically from the intersections of Main Street to James Georgeson Drive. The total project cost is $5,897,324, and the City of Oneonta contributed $3,147,324, or 53% of the total project cost. This project is completed, and we're just looking for authorization from the board. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. I don't see any questions here, so we have no comments from the public. So I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Let's move over to the Capital Region. Mike Yeverly, our Regional Director.
Good morning, Chairman, Board. This item is an affirmation of an action taken at your June 26, 2025 meeting. At that meeting, the directors approved an $18,790,000 grant to the Albany Port District Commission for a portion of the cost of a total project of just over $140 million. The Fast New York grant was for infrastructure improvements to the Port's Beacon Island expansion site. Public hearing was held on July 21st. At that public hearing, two individuals spoke negatively about the project and provided commentary that we felt needed to be addressed. The Port and their consultants provided us with details related to the comments. Those responses are in your materials. I won't go into details on them, but after review and consideration of the comments received, ESD staff believes that the Port District Commission's Beacon Island Site Fast New York project is a very important part of the Capital Region Economic Development Council's mission to modernize and expand our ports. The staff believes that concerns raised at the hearing have been adequately addressed and that no ESD funds would be dispersed prior to satisfactory disposition. ESD staff also believes the project is expected to have, of course, a positive impact on the community at large. The directors are requested to affirm the findings and determinations related to the project made pursuant to New York State Urban Development Corporation Act, and to affirm the general project plan presented at the board's June 26, 2025 meeting. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions for him? None. We have no comments from the public, so I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Let's go over to the southern tier with Omar Sanders.
Good morning, Chairman and Directors. We're asking the Directors to approve a capital grant through the City of Hornell Downtown Revitalization Initiative. The capital grant will support interior renovations and facade improvements to an historic mixed-use building that has converted the upper floors into 4 one-bedroom market rate apartments and 1 large 3-bedroom apartment that make up a total of 4,900 square feet of residential space. The commercial space is fully occupied and includes improvements to the front entryway to enhance the aesthetic of the first floor. The total project cost is $600,000. The total amount of funding awarded to the project was $300,000 to support the renovation and facade improvements. The grantee, JDKB Properties LLC, is the developer and owner of the real estate and has contributed over $300,000 of its own equity in completing the renovations of the historic mixed-use building. The proposed DRI project aligns with the City of Hornell's placemaking initiatives that aims to enhance the city's commercial corridors, supports increased business investment in the downtown, and promote diverse housing options for its residents. And I'm happy to answer any questions at this time. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Omar? None. No comments from the public. So I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, let's go now to the New York City region. We have 3 items, 3 separate votes. And we have Joseph Taswell live and in person from ESD headquarters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. This first request is for the approval of a $1 million Regional Council Capital Fund grant to the New York City Department of Small Business Services, which is accepting the grant on behalf of Solar One, a nonprofit organization that fosters sustainable practices and environmental equity across New York City through innovative programs in environmental education, green workforce training, solar installation technical assistance, and eco-park stewardship. The grant will be used in connection with the $19.2 million cost to construct Solar 2, a 2-story, 3,500 square foot environmental education center, which will be located on the East River waterfront of Stuyvesant Cove Park. The building will be LEED certified and feature green energy components, including a roof that will be equipped with 38 kilowatt solar panel array. The building will generate off-the-grid solar electricity, allowing it to serve as a community disaster relief center in the event of future storms. The center will also feature interactive exhibits on urban environmental stewardship, innovative public programming for teachers and students, and workforce development training. The project was completed in August. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Joseph. Anybody have any questions for Joe? None. We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Next item, Joe.
Sure. The next request is for the approval of a $680,000 Regional Council Capital Fund grant to Tiny Tots Care, which is a nonprofit organization that provides child care services in the Borough Park neighborhood of Brooklyn, an area considered to be a child care desert. This child care facility was formed in 2014 with 16 child care slots. However, due to the rapid increase in program size due to demand, it was determined that a larger space was needed. The grant will be used in connection with the $1.7 million cost to construct and renovate an existing 10,000 square foot facility located at 1372 40th Street in Brooklyn. The upgraded components include new ventilation, lighting, storage, bathrooms, child height, counters, and meeting spaces. The facility will support 100 additional child care slots for a total of 200 slots. The project was completed in August.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Any questions? None. No comments from the public, so I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Last item, Joe, and I'll remind folks that this is the item that Benson will be recusing himself on. So go ahead, Joe.
The third request is for approval of a $368,000 New York Forward Round 1 grant to Episcopal Health Services, which operates St. John's Episcopal Hospital, a teaching hospital located in Far Rockaway, Queens. The project will transform the hospital's antiquated labor, delivery, and maternal units into a modern maternal health care facility. The hospital, which is the only hospital providing emergency and ambulatory care to the Rockaways, applied for state funding as part of the strategic planning process for the New York Forward Round 1 winning community, Far Rockaway. The grant will be used in connection with the $11.3 million cost to renovate and equip a 10,000 square foot space at St. John's Episcopal Hospital into a modern modern childbirth facility. The new build-out will include new delivery rooms, recovery rooms, and support areas to provide better care and comfort for mothers and their families. The space was badly in need of major renovation since the last upgrade occurred in the 1980s. The project was completed in June. I'm happy to take any questions there.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions? No? No comments from the public. So I will move it, and Hope will second it. And all in favor? Aye. And again, let the record reflect that Benson recused himself. All right, thanks, Joe. Let's go over to Long Island now with Kara Longworth, our VP and Regional Director of the Long Island office.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, directors. We're asking the directors to approve a $1,050,000 grant, a capital grant from the REDC to New York Institute of Technology to pay for a portion of the building of an advanced research imaging center, which they call the BRIC, which is an acronym for the Biomedical Research Innovation and Imaging Center. This was a round 11 priority project supporting the Regional Council strategy to expand Long Island's life sciences and advanced research clusters. NYIT is located in Westbury, has about 8,000 students in undergraduate and graduate programs. They also have a School of Osteopathic Medicine. This $35 million building will support research conducted by the School of Osteopathic Medicine, the School of Engineering, and other university disciplines. The BRIC will greatly enhance NYIT's medical research, help attract top-tier students, attract new federal research contracts, and bring talented medical researchers to Long Island. The project is complete, and we are requesting your authorization to disperse the grant.
Very good. Thank you, Kara. I actually did the ribbon cutting on this building. It's beautiful. They did a great job. Does anybody have any questions for Kara? Nope. We have no comments from the public. So I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, Kara. Let's go over now on to the Market New York Grant Program. We've got Ross Levi, our Executive Director and VP of Tourism.
Thank you, Chairman Long. Good morning, directors. Division of Tourism is asking the directors to approve one Market New York capital grant from round 8. The grantee for the project has met the required match, which is a minimum of 80%. The project is a $995,000 grant to Albany County that facilitated significant renovations and upgrades to the former Times Union Center, now renamed MVP Arena, including seating replacement, locker room renovations, and LED expansion. These improvements aim to maintain the arena's competitiveness in the entertainment industry and its ability to host a wide variety of events. The total project cost was approximately $9.6 million, with Albany County investing over $8.6 million of its own equity and was completed in February 2025. Happy to answer any questions.
Hey, Ross, does MVP stand for anything, or just is it like most valuable player? Or?
That's the corporate sponsor, I believe, an insurance company, I think.
Insurance?
I think it's healthcare.
Healthcare?
If you're thinking Northwell of the area.
Oh, very good. And was this the old Knickerbocker Arena, which became the Times Union Arena, and now it's going to be the MVP Arena?
Also Pepsi.
Oh, it was indeed. And there was a Pepsi arena in there as well.
Right.
I'm showing my age with the Knickerbocker. Anyway, anybody else have any questions for Ross? Hearing none, there are no comments from the public. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Ross. All right, Simone, we have with us. Yes,
Hi.
You have some projects for us, Simone?
Yes, from the store calendar.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Law. For the first item, we are requesting director's approval for a $500,000 round 7 Restore New York grant to the Village of Hudson Falls in the Capital Region for renovations of a 93,000 square foot vacant historic building at 119 Main Street. Hudson Falls completed renovations to the structure on May 2025, creating space for a beer, wine, and food service operation on the basement and first floor, along with retail space and an art gallery on the second floor. Project cost totaled $1,295,270, with equity contributions of $795,270 made by the developer. For the second item, directors are being asked to approve a $1,850,000 Round 7 grant to the City of Batavia in the Finger Lakes region for construction, renovation, infrastructure, and site work to renovate 2 connected and vacant downtown properties totaling 20,000 square feet that formerly served as Carr's department store. This project is related to the $1 million Round 2 Downtown Revitalization Initiative grant made to Carr's Reborn LLC, the building's owner, as outlined earlier in this meeting by Laura Fox O'Sullivan. The project was completed this month, resulting in the building's renovation, totaling over 31,000 square feet of commercial and residential development and creation of 12 market rate apartments. A total of $5 million was invested, with $2.1 million being contributed by the building's owner, Carr's Reborn. For the third item, we're requesting director's approval for a $1,050,000 Round 7 grant to the town of Hamilton in the central New York region. Hamilton will oversee renovations to 6 residential properties located on Poolville and Willie Roads. Hamilton's 2017 comprehensive plan outlined increasing the diversity of available and affordable housing while reducing sprawl. The projects will be complete in September 2026 at a cost of $1,604,922, with property owners contributing approximately $350,000 in equity. Finally, the directors are being asked to approve a Round 7 grant of $1,270,000 to the village of Angola in the western New York region for the rehabilitation of 2 vacant properties at 72 North Main and 42 North Main Streets, totaling 12,260 square feet. In June 2025, Angola restored and reused 2 blighted buildings, the historic Angola Theater and the former town hall, transforming them into a brand new theater and mixed-use property containing affordable housing of 1 2-bedroom apartment and 4 1-bedroom apartments. The total cost is estimated to be approximately $1.5 million, with an equity contribution made by the village of $223,000. And I can take any questions.
Great, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Simone? We don't have any comments from the public on any of these matters, so I will move them. Benson seconds them. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Simone. Continue, Simone. You got some loans and grants at the direction of?
Yes, at the direction of grants, which are sponsored by the New York State the New York State Senate Assembly or the Governor's Office. For the first item, we're seeking director's modification to a previously approved grant to the Village of Victory for demolition, remediation, and site preparation to the vacant and historic Victory Mill located in the Capital Region. The 220,000 square foot project building was slated for demolition and was awarded a fiscal year 23-24 $10 million grant from the Special Appropriation Fund at the direction of Assemblymember Carrie Werner of the 113th District. On May 22nd, 2025, Hope Knight, ESD's Chief Executive Officer, signed into approval $194,500 of the $10 million grant for soft cost associated with environmental remediation of the property. On July 17, 2025, ESD directors approved $150,000 to the village to address immediate emergency demolition of the property. Today, directors are being asked to approve an additional $250,000 of the $10 million award to allow the village to oversee the emergency demolition of the building's remains and to purchase the property. The remaining $9,655,500 of the grant will return to the board for approval later this year for completion of the renovation cost. For the second item, we're requesting director's approval of a $2 million local assistance grant to Sail Forth New York, Inc. for its Sail Forth 250 event, a celebration to mark America's 250th birthday with an awe-inspiring flotilla of tall ships and naval vessels sailing into New York City's harbor on July 4th, 2026. Grant funds will support operational expenses related to the event, including planning, crowd flow management, vessel mooring arrangements, and public outreach. The project is expected to be complete in July 2026. And finally, the directors are being asked to approve a modification to a $25 million award being funded from the Centers of Research Excellence in Science and Technology program originally approved by ESD on May 16, 2024. 5 separate appropriations of $5 million each were made between fiscal years 2022-23 and 2025-26 via the Executive Chamber to support design, construction, and renovation of the 185,000 square foot performing arts facility at Pace University's downtown New York City campus. Today, directors are being asked to approve an additional $5.5 million, bringing the total approved funding to $30.5 million. Pace University commenced design activities for the east wing of the facility in 2022 and completed the design portion of the project in May 2024. As of April 2025, construction is 47% complete, and the project is expected to be totally complete by the third quarter of 2026 at a total cost of $220 million. Thank you.
Great. Anybody have any questions for Simone? On the sale for 250, I suspect we'll be doing other things for that event. It won't just be this. There'll be other things that we'll probably be involved with.
It's going to be a big event.
I'm sorry?
It's going to be a big event.
Exactly, right. I know, and $250,000 doesn't sound like a whole lot of money for what's going to be, what's probably going to be a spectacular nationwide event. All right. But that's it for now. Oh, I'm sorry. It's $2 million.
It's $2 million.
It was a sale for 250. Oh, so it is. That's very, very nice of the governor. It's, yeah, looking forward to that. No comments from the public on these items either. So I will move them. Hilda seconds them all. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Simone.
Thank you.
Office of Strategic Workforce Development, Michelle Clark. Is she on the phone? Michelle, you with us? You on mute?
Maybe so.
Blame Verizon again?
Blame Verizon.
We'll come back to Michelle.
Josh?
So we're blaming Josh?
I don't say that. I'm the one who's going to get the phone.
Very
phone
good.
call.
Nice segue into Josh.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
There you are, Michelle.
You can just say hello and say unmute. Hello. Thank you, Chairman, and good morning, directors. The directors are being requested to approve the release of funding for the Office of Strategic Workforce Development's Pay for Performance Operating Grant to Common Point, New York, a not-for-profit community-based organization with locations in Queens, New York. The grant is in the amount of $711,680. The recipient agrees to use the funding to prepare individuals from historically marginalized communities for career pathways in the building trade sector at no cost to trainees. OSWD funding will allow the recipient to expand this program to accommodate 80 job seekers over the 18-month grant period and provide them with stipends and transportation assistance. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds to Common Point, New York to carry out this project. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Michelle? None. No comments from the public. I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Now, Joshua. Thank you, Michelle. Joshua Breitbart, Senior VP for Connect All.
Thank you, Chair, President Knight, and members of the board for the opportunity to bring this matter to you today. Connect All is requesting the directors authorize a grant award and corresponding general project plan through our municipal infrastructure program. As noted in the board materials, the grant is for a total not to exceed amount of $11,641,537 to construct broadband infrastructure to serve over 2,700 locations in Tompkins County. The directors previously approved a general project plan at the September 2024 meeting for this project. The general project plan has since been amended, and this amendment requires board review and approval of the updated plan. As a general update, the total grant awards under this program that will have been approved by the board will be $242,899,798.60, including the item before you today. The governor has committed a federal funding totaling approximately $295 million to this program, and has recently announced further planned awards, which we will be bringing to the board for consideration. I'm happy to take any questions.
So as of right now, there's about 50 million left.
Yeah, and much of that has already been announced as planned awards, and then there will be some amount of money that we retain in the program as we continue to roll these out and see these changes based on conditions on the ground.
Great, very good, exciting. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Josh? All right, we have no comments from the public, so I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Josh, was I close with the description of the quantum announcement that the governor announced yesterday in terms of the advancements in communications, or do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's a good metaphor, but I think the key point is what you said about the great benefits and the regional, benefits and strategy that we have across the state, and it's a great opportunity to continue to invest in some of the infrastructure that ties it together.
Great, and might you get involved with that at all, or would it be helpful to you or to us if I connected you with the folks who are going to be handling it at Stony Brook?
Absolutely. We were recently up at Stony Brook for a different event, but there's always opportunity. And really what we're doing with Connect All is investing in infrastructure that can support any of those new technological advances. So it's always a great opportunity to understand each regional strategy.
Yeah, great. And I know ESD gave, actually before the big announcement yesterday, gave them sort of money to get the pilot off the ground. So we've already been involved there, so that's great. All right, thanks, Josh. Sorry, did somebody else have a question? No? All right. And so that was Mike. All right, let's go over to New York Ventures. We have Jennifer Teagan, our managing director, and we have, this is the other item that Benson will be recusing himself on. Jennifer?
Good morning, Chair and Directors. We request that the Directors authorize an investment commitment from the State Small Business Credit Initiative Emerging and Regional Partner Program Fund. This is a $102 million program using federal SSBCI funding to invest in venture capital fund managers who subsequently invest our capital into multiple New York State-based startups alongside private funds. Today, we propose investing in Field Ventures for up to $5 million. Field Ventures is a New York City-based venture capital firm investing in early-stage vertical fintech and vertical software companies serving antiquated and historically underserved industries. The firm's focuses its investments on sector-specific software adoption and the broader acceleration of software innovation. Field Ventures is led by a diverse general partner with deep venture capital background and experience, and is supported by an equally accomplished female partner, diverse partner with a similar professional background. The firm is currently raising its inaugural fund. The New York Ventures team conducted extensive due diligence on Field Ventures, including its application review, in-person interviews, extensive background and reference checking, and concluded that investing in this fund will help support the innovation ecosystem in New York State, and recommends that the directors authorize this investment. And I'll take any questions.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer. Any questions? Okay, we don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. And again, let the record reflect Benson's recusal. All right, Jennifer, continue. Oh, no, you're not continuing. Sylvia Cadoni. Yep, right
Thank
here.
you.
You're up.
Today we are seeking approval for an investment of up to $250,000 in Nyonix Bio. The New York State Innovation Capital Fund has previously invested $250,000 in the company, so the total accumulated amount would be $500,000. The company has also received some investment from one of the emerging managers on the program, where Jennifer asked for another approval. Nyonix is a biotech company. It's pioneering next generation gene therapies for kidney disease. The inherent filtration function of the kidneys makes it very difficult for drugs and any drugs, and including gene therapies, to get to the kidney cells and treat it. That results in many kidney diseases having limited to no treatment options, and also then patients require dialysis, kidney failure happens, and they need an organ transplant as the diseases progress. So this is a company that would be using their innovation and technologies to develop new gene therapies for these diseases that are very serious and have no treatments. New York State Innovation Venture Capital Fund staff is requesting this approval for an investment of up to $250,000 into a seed round. Proceeds from the financing will be used to develop the company's product pipeline. And as part of our due diligence, both the New York State Innovation Venture Capital Fund staff and an external investment advisory committee has evaluated the company, the business plan, as well as the terms of the investment. As a result of this analysis, both the staff and the IAC agree that the market opportunity and growth potential offered by this company warrants an investment by the fund, and therefore we are recommending the approval.
And how long ago was our first investment?
That was recent. The company opened the round a little bit more, and that allowed us to put an additional funding. So the initial check was just a month ago, and was approved through our CEO because it was under the 250.
Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar. All right. Sounds exciting. Good luck with it. Anybody have any questions for Sylvia? None. We have no comments from the public. So I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion's approved. Thank you, Sylvia. All right. So let's move over to the Creedmoor Mixed Use Project. And we have Sue Kang, our VP of Planning and Environmental Review, to walk us through this.
Good morning. Thank you. The directors are requested to accept and approve the final environmental impact statement, or FEIS, for the Creedmoor Mixed Use Project as complete with respect to its scope, content, and adequacy, and to authorize its publication, filing, and circulation in accordance with law. The project involves the comprehensive redevelopment of vacant and underutilized land within the Creedmoor Psychiatric Center campus in Eastern Queens. The project site will be redeveloped for mixed uses, including senior supportive, affordable, and market rate housing, open space, neighborhood retail, community facilities, educational uses, and parking. On December 19, 2024, the directors authorized the adoption of a general project plan, or GPP, accepted the draft environmental impact statement, or DEIS, and authorized the holding of a public hearing on the DEIS under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, or SEQRA. Pursuant to these authorizations, the DEIS was appropriately filed and publicly distributed, and public hearings were held on January 30th and March 19, 2025, and comments were accepted until April 18, 2025. The comments are summarized and responded to in Chapter 26 of the FEIS provided with the materials. The FEIS has been prepared in conformity with SEQRA and its implementing regulations. It describes the project and its goals, assesses probable impacts of the project, identifies practical measures to mitigate significant adverse impacts, evaluates a range of alternatives, including a lower density alternative, and responds to public comments. SEQRA requires ESD in its capacity as lead agency for the project's environmental review to file and publicly distribute the FEIS, and to allow a period of not less than 10 days before making findings and any final decisions on the project. It's important to note that in approving the FEIS, the directors are not being asked at this time to approve the project. Instead, the directors are being asked to determine that the FEIS is complete, adequately assesses the environmental impacts of the project, and otherwise meets the requirements of SEQRA, and is in proper form for distribution to the public. It is anticipated that at the next directors' meeting, authorization will be requested to make findings pursuant to SEQRA and to affirm a modified GPP. Thank you. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Sue. That was very thorough. I know this is a very big project, and it's generated some, you know, you know, community, various positions from the community. We did receive 3 letters. They seem to more or less all question our compliance with seeker and on the FEIS, and either Sue or Arden. Do you want to just sort of summarize what these comments are, what our response is? And again, Sue, thanks for mentioning that we're not being asked to vote on the project itself today, just accepting the FEIS, so you can begin the notice and the other requirements with it. But Arden or Sue?
Sure. As Sue noted, it is anticipated that we will be bringing a modification to the GPP that was adopted last December to you next month, based on the feedback from this very engaged community. So you will be seeing that. Pursuant to the legal requirements for environmental review, the proposed project is what had to be evaluated, and that is based on the project you approved in December. The project you will be seeing next month has a lower number. It is evaluated as the lower density alternative in what you are looking at today. So next month, you will be approving, should you approve the project next month, that would be the governing document that oversees the project, not the GPP that was approved in December.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And so I think it's fair to assume that less units equals less impact, which means that if the environmental impact statement that's been prepared was looking at a larger project, and you may be presenting a project that's actually smaller to us next week, there would even be less of an impact.
And what's very important to this community is that they understand that what is approved, should this board approve that project, that is what will govern, not the proposed project that's being evaluated in the FEIS today.
And we had environmental consultants and environmental counsel advising us along the way, and they're confident that we've complied with the requirements of SECR.
Yes, correct.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Arden. Does anybody else have any questions? Good. And as I mentioned, we had the 3 comments from the public, but Arden and Sue just addressed that. So I will move this. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we got next the Empire State New Market Corporation. 2 items, 2 separate votes, and John Evan Hornsby, our president for the Empire State New Market Corporation, will be presenting.
Thank you, and good morning. As you may recall, although the Empire State New Market Corporation directors approve projects for New Market's tax credit purposes, the UDC Act requires the ESD directors to separately determine that any such projects would otherwise be approved by ESD and demonstrate one or more goals detailed in the materials. On September 4th, 2024, the ESNMC board approved a federal New Markets tax credit allocation of up to $7 million to make investments to a borrower to finance the rehabilitation of the historic Ontario and Western Railway Station at Middletown into a 26,400 square foot multi-service community center, including a Head Start Child Care Learning Center. The historic O&W Railway Station was originally built in 1893 for the New York, Ontario, and Western Railway. The building has sat empty since the 1990s and was damaged by a fire in 2004. The City of Middletown will redevelop this blighted building to host the Regional Economic Community Action Program, Inc., or RECAP, the designated anti-poverty agency in Orange County, which provides programs and services to help people in poverty in Orange County and the surrounding areas. RECAP will provide early childhood education to children ages 0 to 5 and support services for children and families, including nutrition, mental health support, family support, employment coaching, and housing referrals. ESNMC's investments will finance the renovations and soft costs for the project. New York state legislation requires ESD to select and prioritize projects demonstrating certain goals. Based on the anticipated community impacts, the project was selected for its goals of creating and retaining jobs in low-income communities, increasing the provision of goods and services for low-income community residents, which would otherwise not be available at the same price or quality, and supporting efforts that otherwise benefit low-income community residents by leveraging further investment in their communities. By adopting ESNMC's general project plan, finding the project achieved one or more of the goals, and making all other required findings, including conducting a hearing and an environmental review, this project would be authorized by the UDC Act and is being requested for approval by ESD today. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, John Evan. Any questions for John Evan? None? And we don't have any comment. Oops.
As you
Hilda.
mentioned that this includes a Head Start program.
Yes.
Has that Head Start program being impacted by the federal cuts?
That's an excellent question. You know, I'm not sure. It's a good question.
Okay, though. All right. But you can find that out and you can share it with Hilda, afterwards.
Sure.
Right. Is that okay, Hilda?
Yeah. No problem.
Very good. All right. Any other questions? No comments from the public, so I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, John Evan.
Thank you again. Appreciate it. On September 4th, 2025, the ESNMC board also approved a federal New Markets tax credit allocation of up to $9 million to make investments to a borrower to finance working capital to support Chimilai HY's growth in its manufacturing facility in Olean, New York. Chimilai HY started production in 2024 and produces fabricated steel for large infrastructure projects such as bridges, industrial facilities, sports stadiums, and commercial buildings. The company acquired the former Dresser-Rand Siemens Energy industrial facility in 2022, and the facility was rehabbed and equipped into a state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in 2024. 800 jobs were lost when the plant closed in 2021. Chimilai HY will bring back at least 300 jobs. ESNMC provided $15 million in MTC allocation in 2024 to Chimilai HY to equip the steel fabrication facility and start production. Since then, the company has hired 92 full-time equivalent jobs and built an order backlog in excess of $110 million. The company originally projected the creation of 118 new jobs by January 2026. With more demand than originally projected, Chimilai HY is now forecasting the creation of 189 jobs by January 2026, a 60% increase. The company has invested significantly more than originally anticipated in on-site workforce training because of the highly technical nature of production, the shortage of skilled labor, coupled with the limited resources for local trade schools and community colleges for this type of training. In order to meet the projected growth without subcontracting to other manufacturers, Chimilai HY needs to enhance its on-site existing workforce training to allow for additional hiring and training to meet demand. ESNMC's investments will finance working capital for the expanded workforce training in the facility. New York state legislation requires ESD to select and prioritize projects demonstrating certain goals. Based on the anticipated community impacts, the project was selected for its goal of creating or retaining jobs in low-income communities. By adopting ESNMC's general project plan, finding the project achieved one or more of the goals, and making all other required findings, including conducting a hearing and an environmental review, this project would be authorized by the UDC Act and is being requested for approval by ESD today. Thank you. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, hearing none. There's no comments from the public. So I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, John Evan. All right, and our last items are all the administrative actions that Doug Janice, our Senior Counsel for Corporate Real Estate, will walk us through. Doug, you on mute? We blaming Josh or
Can you hear me, Chairman?
There you go.
Sorry, I did the star 6 thing and it didn't work, unfortunately. Thank you, Chairman, and good morning, directors. As a reminder, in order to help streamline your board meetings, we implemented an oral summary presentation process in connection with our administrative action section of the agenda. So you receive a full set of the written descriptive materials for each of these items in your board materials packet. But rather than having individual oral presentations made on each, I'm going to provide you with a brief summary of the items, and at the conclusion, we can take any questions or comments that you might have. We have 8 items for September, and they are summarized as follows. Item 9A is relative to the approval of a pre-qualified counsel list. The board is being asked to approve a new list of pre-qualified legal counsel to replace the current list. ESD implements and facilitates a large number of complex economic development projects, programs, and initiatives, and these projects sometimes require the corporation to seek assistance from outside legal counsel in various areas of expertise. Staff conducted a broad competitive solicitation to compile and adopt a new list, which is being recommended for adoption for a period of 3 years, subject to an extension of 1 additional year at the discretion of the General Counsel. Please note the directors are not being asked to authorize the retention of any particular firm at this time, but rather to make available a panel of qualified law firms to permit staff to make a recommendation as to the best firm for each project or issue as it arises. Item 9B is relative to the establishment of a pre-qualified temporary legal service provider list for an abstracting project. The board is being asked to approve a list of pre-qualified temporary legal service providers to assist ESD staff to create abstracts of completed real estate project documents for the purpose of enhancing real estate asset management systems. Staff conducted a competitive solicitation to compile the list, which is being recommended for adoption until August 31st of 2027, subject to an extension of 1 additional year at the discretion of the General Counsel. As with item 9A, please note the directors are not being asked to authorize the retention of any particular service provider at this time, but rather to make available a panel of qualified providers. Item 9C is relative to authorization to amend a contract with Mintz, Levin, Cohen, Ferris, Glovsky, and Popio, PC, for legal services in connection with labor and employment matters. Labor and employment matters are a specialized area of the law for which the corporation has limited in-house legal expertise. Over the past several years, Mintz Levin has provided legal advice and counsel to the corporation regarding labor and employment matters on an as-needed basis. The board is now being asked to extend the contract with Mintz Levin for an additional 2 years through October of 2027, and to increase the contract amount by an additional $50,000 for a total contract amount not to exceed $300,000. Item 9D is relative to authorization to amend the contract with Mincer Mausch PLLC for environmental legal services related to Site 4 of the 42nd Street Land Use and Improvement Project, or what we commonly call the 5 Times Square Project. Staff is requesting authorization to amend a contract with Mincer Mausch PLLC to continue to provide environmental legal services for this project. The contract would be extended for 2 additional years at no additional cost. ESD will be monitoring the developer's compliance with its Memorandum of Environmental Commitments during the active periods of the construction and needs to extend this contract to permit the firm to advise on any environmental legal issues. Item 9E is relative to authorization to appoint and enter into a contract with independent accountants for auditing and related services. Staff is seeking authorization to appoint EFPR Group CPAs, PLLC, as the corporation's independent accountants for auditing and related services, and to enter into a contract for a term of 3 years, plus 2 additional 1-year renewal option periods, in the aggregate amount of $1,441,000, inclusive of a 10% contingency. The firm will perform independent auditing and related services for the corporation throughout the term. Item 9F is relative to authorization to enter into a contract amendment with Flynn Battaglia Architects, DPC, for consultant services related to the Broadway Market project in Buffalo. Staff is requesting authorization to enter into a contract amendment with Flynn Battaglia Architects to provide additional architecture and engineering services for the renovation of the historic Broadway Market in Buffalo. The requested amendment amount is $446,000 for a total contract amount not to exceed $4,946,000. And the amendment will add 6 months to the contract term through June 30th, 2028. Item 9G is relative to authorization to enter into a contract amendment with Labella Associates for professional services related to the Mohawk Valley Psychiatric Center feasibility study. The directors are being requested to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract amendment with Labella Associates for an additional 1-year term through March 21st, 2026, for an additional amount not to exceed $80,000 and a total contract amount not to exceed $329,600. The contract amendment will allow Labella Associates to evaluate reuse opportunities on an additional parcel of property at the Mohawk Valley Psychiatric Center in Utica, New York, identified through stakeholder engagement efforts completed during the initial term of the contract. And finally, item 9H is relative to authorization to amend a contract with Lowell and Partners Worldwide, Inc., doing business as Campbell Ewald, New York, for various marketing and marketing-related services. Staff is requesting approval to extend the existing marketing services contract with Campbell Ewald for marketing-related services by 1 year and increase the total contract value from $100 million to $150 million. The current contract was entered into in May of 2024 after a comprehensive RFP process, and the board's original approval contained options to extend for 2 additional 1-year terms at ESD's discretion. This request seeks to exercise the first of those options. I will now turn it back to our chair, who will call for any questions or comments you may have on any of these items before calling for a vote. We also have item-related staff on the line today as well to take any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Doug on any of these items? They're all pretty ministerial amendments of existing contracts. So we don't have any questions. We have no comments from the public on any of these, so I will move them. Hilda seconds them. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. That concludes our official agenda for today's meeting. Does any board member have any other business or issue they'd like to raise at this time? Hearing none. Our next meeting will be here on Thursday, October 23rd. For all of you who might be celebrating, I wish you a very happy New Year and a solemn holy day, Yom Kippur, and those celebrating a very happy Columbus Day. And we'll see you all back here October 23rd. So I'll move to adjourn. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. We are adjourned. Thank you, staff. Well done.